Ever driven an old-school Jimny? It's like riding a camo-wrapped rodeo bull straight into a mountain. Just you, the steering wheel, and fate duking it out. No ABS, no emergency braking, no radar. Just vibes, and maybe your ancestors whispering, "Good luck, buddy." But here in 2025, the Jimny's finally graduated from car kindergarten with its very first grown-up skill: fear of crashing. That's right, the 2025 Suzuki Jimny now comes with AEB, automatic emergency braking, or as Suzuki calls it, because marketers love acronyms, DSBS, dual sensor brake support. Sounds fancy, but really it just means the car will now slam the brakes for you before you smooch someone's rear bumper. Big leap for an SUV that used to treat fender benders like seasoning for the off-road experience. So how does it work? A front-facing camera teamed up with a laser sensor constantly tracks how close you're getting to objects. If it detects you're speeding towards something while casually vibing to sad indie tunes, it'll yell at you, then brake by itself if you ignore it. No questions asked. Just like that best friend who rips your phone away when you're drunk texting your ex. The coolest part? DSBS doesn't just see cars, it also recognizes humans. Thanks to shape and motion detection, Jimny can now tell the difference between a Toyota and a guy walking his dog, which means it finally grew a conscience. And guess what? This safety tech comes standard on automatic models. No overpriced safety package nonsense. Suzuki straight up admits, we know Jimny drivers aren't exactly Lewis Hamilton when it comes to reflexes. But like all software updates, there's a catch. DSBS works best in the city at moderate speeds with clear visibility. If you're bombing down a foggy mountain pass at 60 miles per hour, don't expect DSBS to save you. You'll need a priest, not a proximity sensor. Oh, and if you're driving the manual version, sorry pal, no AEB for you. You'll still be relying on the time-tested brake and pray system, hoping those front calipers aren't too optimistic. Bottom line? Jimny's no longer the wild little cube that blindly charges up a hill. It's learning to keep its distance, think twice, and stop when it should. And that's how you turn a mischief machine into a responsible badass.
Back in the day, spotting the difference between a streetlight pole and a security guard in a reflective vest was entirely up to your eyeballs and caffeine levels. But the 2025 Jimny, it just got a pair of digital eyeballs, a dual-camera ADAS system that sees clearer than your ex right after the breakup. Up front, there's a forward-facing camera paired with a laser sensor. Together, they act like a smart set of eyes and ears, not just seeing, but actually understanding. It tracks movement ahead, detects pedestrians and road signs, and jumps in when you space out. At city speeds, it's faster than your reflexes on 3 hours of sleep. What's cool is how minimalist it is. While other brands pile on radars, lidars, and enough sensors to rival a NASA lander, Jimny keeps it simple. One compact setup that handles it all: emergency braking, lane departure alerts, auto high beams, and road sign recognition. You'll get a gentle audio warning, a dashboard icon, and maybe a subtle nudge to your ego when you drift out of your lane without signaling. But let's be clear, it won't steer you back. No autopilot magic here. It just yells, "Yo buddy, wake the hell up!" If the previous upgrade was Jimny learning to flinch, this one's about yelling your name when you're zoning out. And when you're cruising on dark backroads, the system will automatically switch on the high beams, then politely dim them for oncoming cars. It's more considerate than most drivers in a grocery store parking lot. Now, here's a sneaky little upgrade: road sign recognition. Because while your brain's thinking about dinner plans, Jimny's remembering that you just passed a speed limit 40 sign and flashes it right on your screen. You may flunk the written test, but your car's still getting an A+. In short, Jimny's dual-camera ADAS system is the kind of upgrade that makes you feel safe and laugh at the same time. It's still the cheeky little off-roader that loves playing in the mud, but now it watches the road when you don't. A car that watches your back without being a backseat driver. Like that friend who gently checks in. "You good, bro? 'Cause you're kinda swerving a little."
Don't laugh. If you've ever taken a Jimny on the highway, you know exactly what I mean. Keeping this short, tall, fridge-sized SUV in a straight line feels less like driving and more like spiritual warfare. The Jimny wasn't born to go straight. It was born to wiggle its hips across rocky trails like it's doing a catwalk in hiking boots. So when the 2025 automatic model got adaptive cruise control, ACC,
the car community collectively exhaled through their noses. With ACC, the Jimny can now maintain a safe distance from the car ahead, automatically slowing down and speeding back up with traffic flow. Let's say you're cruising at 50 miles per hour and the car in front drops to 37. Jimny gently eases off the gas, no need to stomp the brake or scream into the void. And when traffic clears, it gradually picks up again, like it's whispering, "Relax, I got this." Now, don't expect Tesla-level wizardry. This ain't some German Luxo barge with semi-autonomous lane keeping and 360-degree radar. Nope, this is just good, honest leg comfort for people who want their knees to survive a road trip. Bonus points, ACC works surprisingly smooth with the 4-speed automatic transmission. Yeah, I know, some folks call that gearbox as outdated as a tube TV, but guess what? That old-school calmness pairs beautifully with ACC's chill vibe. You don't need a warp drive, you just need a car that knows when to wait. Picture this. You're on an empty highway, hands gently resting on the wheel, feet doing nothing, eyes gazing into the horizon. Meanwhile, the Jimny adjusts its speed, keeping a peaceful, polite distance from a truck ahead, like it just came back from a meditation retreat. From brawny little brawler to calm, collected cruiser, Jimny's learning boundaries. And honestly, that's a lesson both cars and humans could use. But hold up, it's not full-blown self-driving. If the car in front comes to a complete stop, Jimny won't restart on its own after a long pause. You'll have to tap the gas to get moving again. So yeah, it helps you be lazy, but not so lazy that you cannot behind the wheel. And for the off-road purists out there, don't panic. ACC doesn't ruin Jimny's wild side. You can still shut the whole thing off, drop it into low gear, lock the diffs, and charge up a rocky hill like it's 1995. No electronic hand-holding here. So now, the once feral Jimny can keep its distance, follow the leader, and even practice speed control. At this rate, next facelift, it might start taking the driver's license test for you.
The Jimny is the kind of car people love because it's shaped like, well, a legendary box. You know that drawing you made as a kid when someone said, "Draw a car"? Yeah, that was the Jimny. But here's the fun part. While it still looks like a Rubik's Cube mid-crisis, the 2025 Jimny is now smarter, sharper, and cares more about your well-being than any other rolling box in history. Suzuki kept the exterior design brutally simple, square, flat, and unapologetically dorky. And that's exactly why off-road fans across the globe are obsessed. They didn't smooth out the plastic, didn't chase aerodynamics. Suzuki said, if it's already cool, why make it sexy? And they're absolutely right. But inside, there's a full suite of new safety tech turning this adorable box into a buff babysitter. First up, lane departure warning. Using a front camera, the system watches the lane markings. If you start drifting without signaling, it gives you a gentle beep and flashes a warning light. No auto steering, no vibrating wheel. Just a subtle nudge, like it's whispering, "Hey champ, maybe don't turn left when the road's going straight." Next, driver attention monitoring, aka the "Hey, you good" system. If you're swerving, reacting weirdly, or braking like you're in a racing game, it picks up on it, and then sweetly suggests you take a break. Kind of like that text from your ex at 1 a.m. "Hey, just wondering if you're okay. You seem kind of all over the place lately." And here's the MVP, high beam assist. You're cruising in the dark with your brights on, another car approaches, boom, Jimny dips to low beams, like a gentleman. As soon as they're gone, back to high beams. No hesitation. Honestly, Jimny 2025 is more polite than half the drivers on American roads. All these features run on a simple electronic system. No floating holograms, no chatty AI named Jimny bot. Just good, honest tech that keeps you alert and between the lines. But hey, let's not forget, all this wizardry is packed into a real deal off-roader. It's still four-wheel drive, high ground clearance, body on frame, solid axles front and rear. So yeah, Jimny can still go full mountain goat mode. It just pauses first to ask, "You sure about this?" Bottom line, Suzuki didn't mess with the Jimny's boxy badass philosophy. They just taught it to talk, check in on you, and flip the headlights like a grown-up.
So now, Jimny's not just a toy. It's your clever, low-maintenance trail buddy who's finally learned some manners.
In an era ruled by turbos, hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and EVs throwing electrons like confetti, the Jimny shows up like that uncle in khakis and flip-flops, shrugging, "I'm still rocking a naturally aspirated engine, so what?" That's right, the heart of the 2025 Jimny is still the humble 1.5-liter naturally aspirated, or NA, engine, codename K15B. No turbo, no hybrid wizardry, no EV sorcery. While other automakers chase horsepower and emissions like it's a Formula E arms race, Suzuki just grins and says, "102 horsepower is plenty, thanks." Sounds weak? Maybe. But Jimny doesn't care about 0 to 60 times. It cares about crawling up a 40-degree hill without crying for a tow truck. You get that 1.5-liter engine with either a 5-speed manual or a 4-speed automatic, depending on trim. Yeah, we hear you. 4-speed auto? Is this a museum piece? But that simplicity, that's what makes it tough as nails. It's like old-school fish sauce. No additives, hard to ruin, and doesn't need a NASA engineer to fix. Less tech, fewer tantrums. NA engines also give you pure, honest throttle response. No turbo lag. You hit the gas, it moves. Slowly, sure, but predictably, reliably. This isn't a car for blasting past traffic on the freeway. It's a car for crawling through terrain that scares normal cars into therapy. With 130 Newton meters of torque available at low revs, the Jimny can lock the diffs, climb rocks, dig through mud, and come out the other side like, "Oh, was that supposed to be hard?" And don't assume this boxy little beast drinks fuel like a frat boy at a kegger. Weighing just around 1 metric ton, paired with a brick-on-wheels aerodynamics philosophy, it sips fuel at around 6 to 7 liters per 100 kilometers. That's around 33 to 39 mpg. You'll laugh at how small the gas tank looks, like a windshield washer bottle, yet somehow it's enough for a full mountain road trip. The best part? While other cars are faking exhaust notes with software, the Jimny delivers that raw mechanical growl. You hear pistons working, gears shifting, tires scratching. It's not pretending to be something else. It's a real car, not an iPad with wheels. Bottom line, this 1.5 NA engine isn't fast, powerful, or futuristic, but it's the perfect match for a no-frills off-roader that's all about grit, guts, and zero drama. It's like that grumpy neighbor down the block. Never shows up at the HOA meetings, but always has a tow rope when your truck is stuck in a ditch.
Back in the day, reversing a Jimny was basically playing roulette with physics. Visibility? Minimal. Spare tire on the rear door? Huge. Boxy body? Zero clues where the humans end and the telephone poles begin. But honestly, can you blame it? The Jimny was never designed to go backwards. It's the kind of car that just wants to move forward or climb over whatever's in the way. But times change, and in 2025, the Jimny finally got a brain in the back. On automatic versions, Suzuki now adds Rear Cross Traffic Alert, RCTA, giving the Jimny a much-needed sixth sense while reversing. So, when you throw it into reverse to back out of a spot, the system scans both sides and screams louder than a neighbor catching you sneaking home at 3 a.m. Annoying? Yes. Essential? Also yes. Paired with rear parking sensors and a backup camera, both standard now, the Jimny has finally learned to watch its own back. No more ninja moves, no more relying on your friends standing outside waving wildly. This means fewer trash can incidents, fewer tailgate scratches, and a much lower chance of accidentally kissing a parking pole, according to a totally unofficial survey of people who've been there. And here's the thing. Even though Jimny's built for off-road life, 80% of owners drive it in the city most of the time. So features like these aren't just nice to have, they actually make grocery runs and parking lot battles way less stressful. Plus, here's a fun little detail. Jimny's backup camera is mounted high up on the tailgate, not hidden behind a secret flap like it's playing hide-and-seek in a luxury car. Why? Because that way, it's less likely to get caked in mud or dust on a trail. Function over fancy. Very Jimny. Now, don't get too confident. There's no automatic braking when reversing. It'll scream at you, but it won't stop the car. You're still in charge of the pedal. You still need to stay sharp. RCTA is like a friend yelling, "Stop!"
but it's not going to yank the wheel away from you. Even so, we've got to admit, this is a glow-up. From a car that used to treat reversing like a survival challenge, Jimny's evolved into a little SUV with rear awareness. It's not just that wild child charging forward anymore. Now it's starting to glance back and quietly remind you, hey, check your six.
Call the 2025 Jimny whatever you like. A box that climbs mountains, a pocket-sized crawler, or even a pet with wheels. But after this latest update, the Jimny has taken 1 foot out of the sandbox and stepped, awkwardly but earnestly, into the grown-up world of cars that actually care about the driver. What did we just witness? A car that still rocks its throwback brick-shaped body, proudly ignoring the sharp-nosed, duck-tailed design trends, but now packs inside it a full buffet of driver assist tech. Automatic emergency braking, lane departure warning, adaptive cruise control, traffic sign recognition, stuff that a decade ago was reserved for $90,000 German sedans. And now, even this fun-size off-roader gets the full treatment. But here's the impressive part. None of that tech dulled the Jimny spirit. It still rides on a 210mm ground clearance, it still has a body-on-frame chassis, it still brings true 4x4 with a low-range transfer case and solid axles. It can still climb hills, splash rivers, and escape potholes like a cockroach in a parking garage. It's like taking a wild hunting dog, bringing it into your home, teaching it to sit, stay, and not chew through the furniture. But the moment you whistle, it's off to the mountains, claws out, instincts sharp. That's what we call the right kind of domestication. And Suzuki, they didn't scream about it. No OLED walls, no talking AI butler, no TikTok dashboards. They just quietly upgraded the Jimny. Smarter, safer, but still completely itself. A quiet lesson in product design. Don't dazzle, just do it right. So here it is. The 2025 Jimny is for people who want to enjoy cars without driving like an idiot. It'll watch your back, warn you when you're tired, even slam the brakes when you're not paying attention. But it still gives you the freedom to climb fences. Literally. A car that thinks, but doesn't overthink for you. A car that's still a little crazy, but now knows when to act civilized. And if you still don't believe a car can be both wild and socially responsible, just get in the Jimny. But be warned, it might stop before you hit the brakes and look at you through its backup camera like, you're slower than I am, buddy. That's it for today. If you had a laugh or a little epiphany, hit that subscribe button for Carcry. Next time, who knows? We might meet an SUV that breathes.